Hello everybody, this is Prowl, and today I have some amazing tips and tricks for you and the most efficient way to do everything and anything when it comes to crops. And I'm going to ask you to stick around because while we're going to start with some of the basic simple things, I have some things that will not only help you in the early to mid game with like normal crop harvesting and that sort of stuff, but some of these tips and tricks are going to pertain to those of you that like to do automatic farms and that sort of thing as well. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. There's going to be a lot of amazing things here. And if you haven't done it already, make sure you click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop me a comment down below and let me know what is your favorite crop tip, trick, hack, or whatever. Okay, when I say we're going to start with the basics, we're going to start with the very basics, but I'm going to keep this short and simple. So first, you can't just till farmland into the ground and expect crops to grow because that farmland will eventually convert back over to dirt, and the crops that you plant in it, they're not really going to do much of anything. So instead of just having farmland, you do need to have water to hydrate that farmland. Now, water can hydrate out 4 blocks in each direction, and it is not a circular shape, it is a square shape just like this. So a 9x9 square centered around the water. So this right here, this is the maximum size that a single water source can do, but you can of course very easily chain these together, because if you go out 4 this way, that means you can go out another 1, 2, 3, 4 and place down another water bucket, and now you're 4 this direction from here, 4 that direction from there, and you have doubled the amount of space, and you can put these together pretty easily in any size that you feel like you want to. Now, don't leave yourself in a situation where you fall in these pesky holes. Instead, go ahead and put a top half slab over top of those. The block is still hydrated. As you can see, there's still water down there. So even though the water is not showing, it will still hydrate your land. And throw a torch on top. Throwing a torch on top will make it so all of your crops have an ample amount of light, daytime and nighttime, and will actually assist in their growth and make sure that they don't just pop up out of the ground like they can sometimes tend to do. So throw down your torches and that'll cover the whole plot. And something else you should test is an amazing server from today's sponsor, Sparkedhost. If you want the best way to play Minecraft with your friends or family, then a Minecraft server from Sparkedhost is your answer. A Minecraft server is a great choice as it has much less lag. It allows you to see much further in your world than a realm does, while also not requiring you to be online for others to play in it like a locally hosted world on your device does. To get started with Sparkedhost, browse through their different tiers of server, ranging from their very affordable budget series that offer better value per dollar than realms, or their main lineup of enterprise servers that offer amazing performance at competitive prices. Once you have your server type, amount of RAM, and any add-ons that you may want selected and purchased, your server is ready to play on. If you need any help, Sparkedhost has amazing customer support through their live chat on their website and on their Discord channel. Sign up today by clicking the link on screen now or in the description below, and be sure to use code PROWL at checkout to get 20% off your initial payment. Now, your 4 main crops you're going to run across in the game is going to be potatoes, carrots, seeds, and beetroot seeds. Potatoes probably being one of the most common. And when you go to plant your crops, make sure you don't plant the same crop diagonally from itself. If you do that, these crops, now that they're diagonally or right beside each other, they're going to grow at half the speed that they would otherwise grow in. And to very specifically show you what it is, it's not this right beside each other, it's the diagonal. So when they're diagonally from each other is when that speed is cut in half. So if you know you're going to be able to visit your crop fields fairly frequently, what you're going to want to do is either give them space and do them every other, like this right here, or since you have this empty space, fill it in with a different crop. So if you do it with any different crop, it doesn't matter what the different crop is, they will all run at that optimal top speed. Also, I should say there's no speed difference between a crop sitting out there all by itself with nothing around it versus being right beside each other. That's just the same. They are going to grow at the fastest rate of speed. Again, it's that diagonal that you want to avoid. Now, if you want to make crops grow faster, you can bone meal them. The bone meal will not be wasted if it does not cause a growth. So if you keep clicking on it, it will not continually use the bone meal. It will only use it if it actually performs an action on the item, so you don't have to worry about waste when you're doing bone mealing. Now, generally speaking, your crops are going to go through multiple growth stages and reach this final stage. Now, carrots and potatoes, when you break and pick those up, they will typically give you more than one in return. So you plant one, you get more than one back. And then you replant the item that you pick up to plant it back down. Whereas with wheat and beetroot, you break those, you get 2 different items. You get seeds and you get the plant. Now you have a chance to get more than 1 seed. With beetroot, you have a chance to get more than 1 beetroot. With wheat, you always get 1 wheat in return 100% of the time. You don't replant the wheat down, you replant the seed, Now, this is important for me to talk about because we just punched those plants and we got a little bit in return, right? But a lot of people don't know this, that you can use fortune to harvest up your crops and you get a larger return out of it, a much larger return, in fact, to where it is 100% of the time worth doing. You lose no durability on your tool for doing this. You can actually even go as far and as crazy as actually just hitting it with the Fortune 3 book on Bedrock Edition, and it will actually still give you the fortune effect. Now, one important thing to bring up is for wheat and beetroot, the fortune actually only works on the seeds. It does not work on the crop itself. So you do not get more of the crop, you get more of the seeds. But anytime you do any type of harvesting, you want to make sure if you have fortune that you use it, and it's only going to work at that full growth stage. It's got to be done growing. It won't work at any stage below the full growth stage. Okay, so here's when a lot more technical information is going to come into play and help you get the most out of harvesting your crops. And we're switching now to pumpkins and melons. They're a much better trading commodity if you're trading with villagers. So they're usually a lot more valuable to you as the player to be able to grow and grow quickly. So melon and pumpkin seeds do work the same way. If you plant a whole bunch of melon seeds here and a whole bunch of pumpkin seeds here, that gets you maximum growth efficiency from them because the diagonal is not slowing the growth down. But this is not the optimal way to plant them. First of all, they are going to take up a space. The pumpkin or the melon is going to grow on the adjacent block. But there's actually a really important way for you to go through and do this. It's going to get you the most out of it. What we're going to do is we're going to find the corner. We're going to count out diagonally 1, 2, 3, and 4. That gets us to right here. And by far the best way to set these up is to make farmland in every other spot. So do just like I've done here, and then we're going to alternate back. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to make this checkerboard pattern all the way through. Now there's a specific reason why a checkerboard pattern is best here, because when it comes to melons, pumpkins, their growth stage takes them to the stalk, and then every so often this stalk tries to produce a melon or a pumpkin. Now what it'll do is it'll pick one of these 4 squares because it can grow at either one of these, right? It could grow in any of those. What it'll try to do is see, okay, is this block available for me to grow on? And it'll either like succeed or it'll fail if there's not a space there. So when you have 4 spaces around it, you give that stalk the largest chance for one of those 4 spaces to check a melon or a pumpkin. When you grow in a literal row like this, and say you have a row of them, you have melon seeds there, and you have pumpkin seeds right here, it only has 1 spot to check, right? Just that spot right there. Maybe the end ones have 2, but generally speaking, there's only 1 spot for it to try to grow to. So if it tries to grow here, here, or here, that attempt fails. So when you do the checkerboard pattern, you leave yourself all 4 spots around that particular piece of farmland available for the melon or pumpkin to grow. So what do? We plant melons across, we plant pumpkins across, we come out here, we plant melons across, and we continue that all the way down. Now eventually what you end up with is this, and as you see here, even as we sit here and talk, you will probably see some melons and pumpkins start to pop in, and by doing this method you are increasing the growth rate by almost 4 times versus doing it this way. Now this translates over directly to how you set up a melon and pumpkin farm if you're trying to do an automated one like the tutorial I have that I'll link up in the top right hand side of the screen here. It all translates over. If you make a melon and pumpkin farm that's automated, you want it done in this way so you get the melons and pumpkins as quickly as possible. Now if you're doing this manually, I've seen a lot of people complain about, well, this is kind of confusing to have to harvest, right? So I have a solution for that, don't worry. Now first of all, your harvesting solution is to either use fortune if you want melon slices, or use Silk Touch if you want to get the whole melon. Fortune does work on melons to give you more melon slices, which is awesome. But if you use Silk Touch, you get the whole melon, which is what you actually do the trading with villagers. So up to you which one you use. I have Fortune on my axe right here. But the way that you harvest, instead of just harvesting in a straight rows, just harvest diagonally. So I'll come over to the diagonal right here. I line my axe up with like the top corner of a melon, and I can just easily sprint through in mind. It's actually not any harder than the normal row way of harvesting. You're just coming at it from an angle. That's it. It's actually quite easy. Now that we've done melons and pumpkins, I got a really good one here for you when it comes to sugarcane. Okay, now sugarcane is a big one. It's an important one because this is how you get paper to make rockets, among other things that you may use it for. So first of all, the way sugarcane works is you have a spot of water. You can place sugarcane beside water. If it's not beside water, you can't place it. So the most common method that people use for making sugarcane farms is just a row of water like this. Flowing water or non-flowing water doesn't really matter. And then they plant rows of sugarcane. But let me tell you, this is actually not a good way at all to do sugarcane. So inside of this plot of land right here, we have 108 sugar canes being planted. We have rows of water. We don't need water between these rows because as long as there's water on at least one side, then it will operate perfectly fine. But what if I told you you could fit a whole lot more sugarcane in this area by following a particular technique? Now, this better method, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna start like right here, and we're gonna skip 4 spaces, and every 5th block we're gonna break because that's where water's gonna go. So 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. Now, when we go over to our next row, we can go from one of these holes, go over 1 and go back 2. And then you can count 4 blocks, and on that 5th block, break in either direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We can't do anything there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that takes us all the way down there. Now again, we can come over 1, come back 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to repeat that across this whole section. We can't come over 1 and back 2 here just because it goes outside of my boundary. So we'll go over 1, back 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll do it this way too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm going to fill in the rest of the area. And when we have it in this way, you can see that we can place sugarcane in every, oh, hello, in almost every single slot except for some spaces here on the border. Now, in doing it this way, what do we end up with? Well, we end up with about 130 sugarcane possible to be placed in this same size area, which is about a 25% increase versus what we had over on the other section here. So same amount of area internally, but 25% more sugarcane can be placed down. This could be important if you use a flying machine based farm, and also is important if you are fitting all the sugarcane in a tight area and you want to get as much of it as possible. Also, I don't remember if I brought this up earlier or not, but in case I didn't, sugarcane on Bedrock Edition, you can bone meal it. So it's another way if you need to get a lot of sugarcane really quick, bring yourself some bone meal, because unlike on our friends Java Edition, you can bone meal sugarcane here on Bedrock. And the last crop I want to talk today is a very simple one. It's bamboo. Guess what? Bamboo, it doesn't need to be by water. You can place it anywhere. That's pretty much all there is to know about bamboo. You can break it faster with the sword. That's kind of cool. Other than that, there's nothing else to really know. Fortune doesn't work with it, or sugarcane. You can bone meal it. Yeah, that's about it. So I appreciate you guys watching today. Hopefully you found some good tips and tricks from this that you can use in either your manual farming or your automatic farms that you end up building. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, drop me your best tips, tricks, or your favorite one that I gave you here today, or something that you didn't know down in the comment section below. I'd be glad to know that as well. And consider helping support the channel by picking up a channel membership. I thank you so much, and you guys have a great day. Bye.